when we're trying to figure out what direction to go, to really invest our time and energy and money into, we tend to go too much into our mind and what we think that we should do, what we think will make money, what we think we want, what we think others want. And it traps us, right? We start chasing after, maybe we might try to get some pieces of paper or like, some credentials or whatever it is. We'll start chasing all these outside ideas, or maybe we'll think, oh, I need to build a following on Instagram first, right? Whatever it is we think we need to do. But the truth is that what we really need to do is get deeply connected with what's true for us. Deeply connected with, what does this human part of me, and I always refer to it as the human part, because we have a human part and then we have a higher part. We have like higher consciousness part. And that's the part that guides us, right? That's our intuition. That's called the river. It's where we get all those feelings of like, hey, that sort of guidance for things. And then we have the human part that is also very important, that is guiding our journey, that is like taking us through this game of life. And we need to learn to listen to that human to find out what he or she wants. And I often call that human an it, because it's like an avatar in a game, right? It doesn't really matter what kind of identity it has. It's an avatar, right? It's a player for the game. And it's not who we are. We're not that avatar, And we're here to help, though, that avatar play the game to live its highest potential. So that human part of you is always going to be trying to tell you what it wants, trying to tell you what it doesn't want. And sometimes it can get very loud, For example, if you're tired all the time, or if things are not working, right? If everything keeps not working, then your human self is telling you, this is no good for me. I need something different, right? Something needs to change. So our human self is always communicating with us. And we've got to learn to listen better. In order to do these bigger things, in order to live our highest potential in service to what I call like the higher good, the whole, right? Which is my whole thing. Because that's what feels good, right? That's what we wanted to, that's what we came here to do. It's what's fun, is helping others. So we need to learn to really get better at listening to the human part of us. Because all of us are like, oh my God, what's my higher self have to say? Don't worry about your higher self. Your higher self is always here. It's always here guiding you, always trying to help you. But what you got to do is really learn to listen. What is my human self saying? What is my human self wanting, not wanting? Want more of, want less of, right? And really learn to listen to that too. Really learn to tune into that. And become unapologetic about that. And what's really cool about that is we think, oh my God, now I'm going to become so selfish. I'm going to not care about anybody. But no, because you'll be surprised to find that actually your human self does care about others, does want to help others, does want to have an impact. It does want to do some positive stuff here, right? Wants to help others, right? Think of a child just like wants to share their crackers with everybody. Our inner child self, our human self is very much like that. It just gets all these layers of shit on it over the years. From the sort of what I call the adult imprint, which is this idea of what we think we need to do. This idea of who we think we need to be here. And then we get caught in that, right? We're trying so hard now to meet that. And that will include like wanting to appear important to others, wanting to appear successful to others, when that doesn't matter at all. I mean, whether other people think we're successful doesn't matter at all. Whether other people even like us does not matter at all. I mean, it's pleasant. It's nice to have people like you. but it's not necessary. It's not something we need to use to guide our choices. What we should use to guide our choices is to look inside at the truth of what is it that I came here to do? What is it that I really, really care about? What is it that, that if I die without having made this better in the world in some way, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to wish that I did, right? Because that's what we came here to do. We came here to make the world better in some way, some unique way to us. To add our something to the world, to add our imprint, to add something, to poke at life, as Steve Jobs said, to poke at it, right? Make a dent in it in a positive way. That's what we came here to do. And so the way that we do that is not by analyzing, not by strategizing, not by asking 100 experts, right? Not by taking 100 courses or getting a bunch of qualifications, but by really listening, really closing our eyes and going inside and listening to what our human self wants, what our human self wants. And that will show us what we're here to do. That will guide us in the direction of our most powerful life, our most powerful creations. That part of us has a child inside that is very innovative and creative and wants to make the world better. So that's what I wanted to share today, was just that to encapsulate what came out of that session that I feel is of value for you too. And I want to try to do that more, as like at the end of the session, to capture what wisdom came out of it before it's lost. It's not lost, but you know what I mean. Just to pass it on so that you can also benefit from that. So I hope that was helpful for you. And I wish you great things, and I wish you a great day.